Sega.
Hello and welcome everyone, Lionheart here, and as you've just seen from that announcement trailer, Rome Total War is coming to iPad this autumn at some point. Soon TM, I guess, would be probably a more official statement from Total War. So I just wanted to make this video, obviously share that trailer with you you've just seen. I'll throw up a few screenshots throughout this video so you don't have to look at my face for the whole thing. But I very briefly wanted to kind of throw open the gates of discussion, because I've already seen a fair few people discussing over different topics and stuff on both Reddit, on forums, on Facebook posts and things like that, and I wanted to weigh in here and share a few of my thoughts and kind of some things that I've already read that make sense and see what you guys think. So I guess overall, mobile Total War basically, and this isn't a Total War Battles Kingdom, this is a full experience. I'm looking at the website behind the camera right now, it's linked in the description, you can go take a look at all the various bits that they mentioned there. But the first bullet point is enjoy the full experience of Rome Total War. They also mentioned you can have thousands of 3D troops on screen. You know, they are not saying this is like a downgraded version or an adaptation. This is essentially a port, and this is being done by Feral Interactive, who have done the Mac ports of various Total War games over the last few years. So I guess from Mac to iOS, you know, makes sense keeping with Apple, going through. It's clearly what they know. And yes, it's being developed for iPad, coming this autumn. No specific date yet. The sooner the better, to be honest. I love the idea of this. This concept is something I've been hoping for a while. Admittedly, I was kind of hoping they'd do it with Medieval 2 Total War, but I would assume that if this does well, we will see a Medieval 2 Total War on iPad and probably other tablets at some point in the future. That is my hope. Again, there's very little information at the moment, so this is kind of all just speculation and my own thoughts and sharing kind of a few messages that other people have commented on various different sites at the moment. So I guess the biggest thing is, a lot of people are going to be saying, why not Android? Why is this only on iOS? Why, Lionheart? Do they hate us? I have both Android and iOS devices, an iPad actually, and I have an Android NVIDIA Shield tablet. So I've kind of got the best of both worlds here at the moment. But from what I've read, and again, because I know nothing really about this and certainly can't weigh in, you know, any kind of, you know, professional industry experience or anything here. But from what I've read, a fair few people are saying that iOS is cheaper to develop for, and that makes sense because there's a far fewer pool of devices that run iOS compared to Android. There are, I don't know, hundreds, maybe even thousands of different Android devices out there, tablets and what have you, whereas with iOS it's only on Apple's iPads. We don't know which iPads this will support. I've gotten a Generation 3, I think it was Generation 3 or was it the Generation 4? The first iPad Air is what I have here. Don't even know what the specifications of it are. You know, I think it's the basic 16 gig size, because I couldn't afford anything else because it's so bloody expensive. But yeah, I don't know what the processor speed or anything like that. I'd love to do a comparison between like the speeds on that compared to say what the minimum requirements for Rome Total War is. I'd definitely like to have a look at that and see. Maybe some of you will be commenting and posting that down in the comment section already. Who knows? But yes, you know, technology has come a long way right now, and it's very surprising, almost in a way, but super exciting that we might be seeing, well, we will be seeing very soon, a Total War on this form factor. I'm super excited, honestly. I can't wait for every time I get a train delay in now in the future. I'm just gonna be like, get my Rome Total War out, play my campaign, play some battles. That just sounds like heaven, to be honest. So yeah, it looks like at the moment it's cheaper to develop for iOS because it's a smaller pool of devices and what have you. Certainly, you know, I wouldn't say let's rule out Android. I would hope that I can't see this not really being a success. If it is the full experience, the full game, I don't know if it's going to be multiplayer, I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment, but at least the single player, you know, if that is, you know, true to the original form and it's just obviously touchscreen UI interface and controls and they work well, then this should be an absolute smash hit. Can't see it not, to be honest. So that would hopefully mean two things. One, hopefully Android development as well, and two, Medieval 2 development as well. That would be freaking fantastic. I would love that. Obviously, some of you might be going, oh my god, what, mobile third age mods and stuff? I don't think that would be quite possible. Might be possible on Android. I don't know. That would take an insane amount. I don't know even if the modders could package that all up to install that on top. You need to, I wonder how much space this is going to take up as well, actually, on iPad. Again, I've got the basic 16 gig iPad, and already I feel like no space on here. So please don't be massive. Again, I don't know how well I'm assuming it's going to be pretty darn well optimized if they say they can run thousands of 3D units on screen. And maybe my iPad isn't supported. I know, like, Apple's got their iPad Pros out now, which are really, really solid. They're really powerful. So I can definitely see them working on that. But I really do hope it's not just a case of like a Pro iPad situation. I would hope that it's, you know, for all well, not all iPads, but, you know, most iPads. I don't know, I wouldn't have thought it would run on, say, like the Gen 1 iPad, but I would hope that it runs on all iPads that still currently run the latest versions of iOS. Again, that's something we're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, hopefully we'll see Android development. You know, as an Android user as well, I really hope we see it come over. I don't think it should stay an iOS exclusive at all. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense developing it for, you know, what's going to be an easier to configure compatibility and things like that. And obviously, by the sounds of it, according to many other users, it's far cheaper to develop for the iOS platform itself. And some saying that it's actually got a far larger market than in the App Store, at least, than Android, which I think, is that right? I think I remember seeing something about like the Apple Store having like way more users than the Google one. Not that the Google one doesn't have many users, but you know, just the Apple iStore or App Store still had plenty more users than Google. But anyway, either way, it's coming to iOS, it's coming to iPads. Which iPads we don't know yet, but this autumn so far. I'm just looking at the website behind, looking at the various features it mentions. It talks about some new features as well. It says benefit from a host of features designed specifically for mobile gaming. One of them I would think is their next, well, one of the next bullet points over, which says that they wage war on the fly with mid-battle autosaves, meaning you can close Rome Total War and then open it later and continue right back into the action, into a battle, which you've not been able to do in any Total War. I don't think. It's save mid-battle. You can pause. You've never been able to save mid-battle, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty darn sure you've never been able to save mid-battle. You get an autosave at the start of the battle. You get one at the end of the battle as well. Does it generate one then? But yeah, that sounds awesome, because you know, you might well be on the train and be like, oh crap, my stop's coming up, quick, I'm in the middle of a battle. Oh no, what do? I can hit pause, but then it might drain the battery before I get home. Save, and then you can play it again when you get home, charge it, or whatever, or when you're on your next train or something. So that sounds like a brilliant feature. I'll be interested to see what other features they're planning on bringing in. Obviously, one of the biggest ones is touchscreen controls, and this isn't the first time that Total War have dabbled with touchscreen controls. They partnered with Intel back with Rome 2 to enable touchscreen interfaces for Rome 2. I actually tried it out at EGX, EGX Res. Must have been 2014, and it worked all right. You could touch on a unit, and then you would drag, as you do in Attila and Total War Warhammer, with like the shift right click, and you draw the path of the unit, and you can draw it onto other units to make it go and do an attack. That's essentially what you were doing. You were tapping on the unit and pressing and holding down, and then drawing the path of where you wanted it to go, and it would move. And there, I don't know. It looks like you've got one of the screenshots there, actually, that, again, I'm pointing because I've got it up on the screen behind the camera. You've got this, you can see this blue line drawn around a couple of units. I would assume that's how you can select multiple units if you want to. You might be able to kind of pinch and do that to select the whole army, or like double tap across all units. It's going to be interesting to see how you can move all units forward and things like that, and formations, how easy it will be to drag and draw out lines. Hopefully, it's it's going to be super easy. From the looks of things, they've added like little buttons right across all the unit cards, which are now right along the bottom, and across the top of all those you've got like, it looks like fire at will, guard mode, attack, block, things like that. All the various bits and pieces along there. And again, building wise, that should be super simple. You know, you probably wouldn't have to do too much work to, you know, the existing kind of building interface of click that building, upgrade to that one, click that one, destroy it, build that new one. Queuing up units again, recruiting on the campaign map, very easy. Select that army, move over there, or select those 2 units from that army, go over there. You know, touch and touch controls for at least the campaign map should be very, very easy to get used to, because most of the time you are just using your mouse for that anyway, and you'll just be moving around the map with touch controls. Anyway, for battles, that's going to be where this, you know, really I guess makes it a hit or a fail, really. But obviously that is a massive part of this port. They've got to get those touch screen controls right, so hopefully they will. I mean, it says direct your troops and build your empire using an intuitive touchscreen interface, so hopefully it's just that, it's intuitive and it's easy to use, and it enables you to still have massive battles with complete control. So I'll be very excited to see how that all comes together. Hopefully I can get some early access to try it out. I would absolutely love that. If not, obviously I'll be jumping on that day one, whenever day one is, to try that out. Other bits and pieces, I guess price is something to consider here as well. How much is this going to cost? Currently on Steam, I've had a quick look. Rome Total War is retailing for $6.99, and I think Rome and Alexander is $8.99. Should say as well, this hopefully means as well we might even see like Alexander and Barbarian Invasion kind of updates and expansions for this as well. That would be pretty darn cool. So this is coming out with 11 different factions to fight on the campaign. No mention of multiplayer just yet. I don't know if it's too much to hope that there'll be multiplayer as well. I don't know how they get the servers to run and connect between. You know, they probably have to have their own server system in there, which will probably, I guess, cost a fair bit. Which is obviously why GameSpy eventually shut down, and like Rome 2 and Medieval 2 run off Steam servers now. So I don't know if multiplayer is in there or not. If it is, it's just the best like mobile game ever. Even if it's not, it's still like the best mobile game ever. I might be a little bit biased here, as I'm sure many Rome Total War players are that hopefully have iPads. But yeah, price wise, if it's $6.99 on Steam and $8.99 for the collector's edition, which includes Alexander, I would have thought that $9.99, which I guess $12 US dollars 99, $15 max, maybe £12 max. I mean, what would be the maximum you guys would be prepared to pay for this? I would imagine, obviously it's $6.99 on Steam, but I imagine it costs a little bit more for, you know, a mobile game. I wouldn't mind paying $9.99. I'd be perfectly happy. No, I mean, if you think about kind of cost per number of hours that you'll get out of this game, you know, think of the number of hundreds of hours most of you probably have on Rome Total War right now, and imagine that completely kind of transferred to get the same experience out of your iPad. I mean, I can easily see myself thinking about it now, getting a good few hundred hours on it. So, you know, if it's £10, if it's £15, I think I'd still be okay with that, just because I know the amount of gameplay I can get out of this, and obviously if it all works and runs well. But yeah, I don't think I could see it really going for much more than £15. Just because, I mean, if it was a brand new Total War title and they were going like, here's the PC version and here's exactly the same version but on iPad, then I could totally see it being £30 or, you know, like $40 or whatever. But it's not. It's a very old Total War title now, that they are porting over to mobile gaming. I mean, the kind of best example that I've had experience with is the Final Fantasy series of games. They have been ported over to both Android and iOS over the last few years, up to Final Fantasy 9, although they haven't done 8, which I really want them to do because 8 is my favourite. Screw everyone that loves 7. No, 7 is fine too, but 8 is better. Just saying. The hate in the comment section, I can feel it already. 8 for the win. So where I actually get my Lionheart name from, one of the main character, Squall, in Final Fantasy 8, his ultimate weapon is called the Lionheart, and it's a freaking cool gunblade. I mean, gunblades themselves. Revolver barrel with a massive sword attached to it. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong for an ultimate weapon. But yeah, his ultimate one was called the Lionheart. So yeah, that's why Final Fantasy 8 is obviously clearly better. But yeah, they've re-brought out all the Final Fantasy games, and I think they've been selling for like $10.99, and I've quite happily bought them. And obviously, you know, when they first came out, they were £30 and what have you. So yeah, they're like, and I think I bought Final Fantasy 9 recently, and it was like $10.99 or $12.99. So within that kind of pricing range, I'd be totally happy with it. If it's heading towards £20, I'm going to be like, no, you can't do that, because I'm sure there must be a way of almost streaming Rome Total War from your PC onto an iPad screen or something somehow. You know, it'd be a bit of a hack job, but I'm sure you could probably do it that way. And if you can do it for that way for $6.99 or $8.99 with a collector's edition, then, you know, they don't probably have a lot of pricing range there. Obviously, the mobile gaming is a massive market now, and I did see one or two comments which I was like, this is not the right approach to take, really. Some people were saying like this is like moving Rome Total War onto making a mobile version of it, an iPad version. But when I say making an iPad version, I do want to stress that, again, from the information that is presented on their website and what they've said so far, which is very little, but it's the full game. It is a port. I would describe this more of as an iPad port, because they are saying it's the full experience. They are just obviously tweaking the UI for touchscreen, and that's it. This is not a reworked version to you know, feature almost less content than the PC one. This should be exactly the same as the PC version with just touchscreen interface and controls. So yeah, I saw a couple of comments that were saying like, this is totally disrespecting the great heritage of Total War, moving on to mobile gaming is, whether you like it or not, up and coming, and it is only going to continue to grow. It makes complete sense that Creative Assembly would expand onto that, and they have done with their own Total War Battles titles. But this could be an absolute smash hit on a tablet. I really, again, the only way I can see this failing is if it's really poorly, really poor touch controls and really poor performance, which obviously are two pretty big things. So hopefully they're going to get that right. Yeah, those are my ramblings, my thoughts so far, guys. Thank camera for cutting me off there. But yeah, those are my ramblings. Those are my thoughts so far. I've probably got more. I might do a follow-up video soon. I'll try and reply to as many comments as possible and get like involved in those discussions. So invite you guys to do so too. Just try and be civil with each other. So yeah, let me know what you think. Are you excited about this? Obviously, you can clearly tell I'm super excited about this. I really am. This is like a dream come true. I always thought, like, if we could have Total War Mobile, the full Total War, not a cut down Total War, the full Total War experience on a tablet, that would be awesome. So does that sound awesome to you guys or not? Is it something you're going to get? Does this almost make you want to go out and buy an iPad? Maybe wait to see if they say something about Android first, perhaps. Yeah, I really do hope it does get onto Android at some point as well. And I really hope that this supports my iPad. I hope that I've got enough space on here. I don't know how big it's going to be. Please, Feral Interactive, make good compression. Good compression. Anyway, until next time, guys, I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Take pride and join the Legion. Check out my affiliates and sponsors, XMG, Green Man Gaming, and Overclockers UK. Until next time, ciao for now.
Sega.